When I married Adam, I knew his family was close, but nothing could have prepared me for his sister Laura. At first, I thought she was just an affectionate sibling, a little overbearing but harmless. She would call Adam multiple times a day, consult him on minor life decisions, and insist on weekly dinner solways at her place. Never ours. It was overwhelming, but I didn't think much of it. Family dynamics can be weird, right? Then, things started getting strange. During our engagement, she acted like she was planning the wedding with him. Whenever I brought up details, floral arrangements, cake tastings, honeymoon destinations, Laura had an opinion, and Adam always listened. If I wanted lilies, she wanted roses. If I suggested a beach honeymoon, she thought a mountain retreat was better. And Adam? He'd nod along like her input mattered more than mine. I brushed it off. Maybe she was just excited. Maybe she didn't realize how much she was inserting herself. But it didn't stop there. Our wedding should have been the happiest day of my life. Instead, it became an uncomfortable show starring Laura. She wore a white dress, not off-white, not cream bright, bridal white. Then, during the reception, she made a speech. Adam and I had already planned for my maid of honor and his best man to speak, but Laura? She grabbed the mic and started talking about how she and Adam had been inseparable since childhood, how no woman could ever come between their bond, and how she would always be his first love. Guests were visibly uncomfortable. My parents exchanged confused glances. I sat there, gripping my champagne glass so hard I thought it would break. Adam laughed it off and hugged her, like it was sweet and sentimental rather than totally inappropriate. That night I asked Adam why he didn't stop her. His response? That's just how Laura is. She didn't mean anything by it. I let it go, but I wouldn't forget. We went to Italy for our honeymoon, a trip I had dreamed about forever. But guess who accidentally booked a trip to Rome at the same time? That's right, Laura. She conveniently ran into us at our hotel, acting so surprised to see us. Then she tagged along to our dinners, our sightseeing tours, even our romantic gondola ride in Venice. I finally confronted Adam, but he just sighed and said, "It's a big city. She can do what she wants." I spent half my honeymoon feeling like I was in a twisted third wheel situation. I convinced myself that once we settled into married life, things would calm down. I was so wrong. A few months ago, Adam and I planned a vacation, a couple's getaway to a tropical resort. We had both been stressed with work, and this was supposed to be our time to reconnect. Then Adam dropped a bombshell. "I told Laura she could come too. She really needs a break." I was furious. This was our trip, but he looked at me like I was the bad guy, so I caved. The moment we arrived, it was clear this wasn't a couple's trip anymore. Laura clung to Adam the entire time. She insisted on sitting next to him at every meal, taking selfies together constantly, and worst of all, booking a spa day for the two of them. Not me, just them. When I called her out, she pouted and said, "Adam and I always get massages together. It's our sibling tradition." Excuse me. Later that evening, we took a sunset walk on the beach. I was finally having a romantic moment with my husband when Laura linked arms with him. I snapped. I grabbed Adam's other hand, yanked him towards me, and loudly said, "You do realize you're married to me, right?" The silence was deafening. Laura looked hurt. Adam looked embarrassed. But I didn't care anymore. The breaking point. That night, I told Adam everything. How uncomfortable I felt. How Laura treated him like her partner instead of her brother. How I felt like a third wheel in my own marriage. At first, he got defensive. He said I was overreacting, that Laura was just affectionate. But when I listed every inappropriate thing she had done, the white dress, the honeymoon, the spa day, he finally started to see it. The next morning, he sat Laura down and set boundaries. She cried, accused me of stealing him. But Adam didn't back down. For the first time, he chose me over her. It wasn't easy, but slowly, things changed. Laura pulled back. Adam reassured me that I was his priority. And for the first time since our wedding, I felt like I was actually his wife. If you're in a situation like this, don't stay silent. Set boundaries early. Speak up, because no marriage should feel like a competition between a wife and a sister. And if your partner doesn't see the problem, maybe they're not ready to be a husband at all.